Orem. He's our representative from the City Council. And yeah, is there anything you'd like to say to introduce yourself?
I can briefly. Thank you so much for being on this mission. I will say that when the mayor asked me if I could choose one commission out of any, I told her I wanted library.
Good choice.
Let's go. And she graciously assigned me to this commission. So I just, so my background, I'm a professor at BYU. I was a comparative literature major in college. I studied English and French and Arabic literature. That was my major. I switched over to government. I teach government now. But I have been on a quest over the last 10-something years to read a major work by everyone who's ever won the Nobel Prize in Literature, about 75% of the way there. So I curate my reading list very carefully. I was horrified the other day after a conversation with Bryce to learn that all of my long Libby
I was giving you the cliff notes of everything we've been talking about for the last several months.
All my long Libby lists are costing the city money, even though I can't make it through everything on the list. So I have reevaluated how much I'm actually checking out on Libby. I love the direction of the library. I've been impressed with my conversation with Bryce about what you're trying to do here. I'm a big champion of libraries. I think you need champions in this particular moment. And I want to be that person for you. And just love the opportunity to learn from you and learn what your challenges are. And if I can advocate in any way, I will advocate for you. So.
All right, thank you very much. Thanks for being here. And I'd like to start by reviewing and approving the minutes. Does anyone make a motion to approve the minutes?
I make a motion we approve the minutes.
I'll second.
Okay, let's vote. Should we start with Katrina since she's here virtually?
Aye.
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 Aye. Okay, so minutes are approved. And next item of business is we need to elect a new chair and a new vice chair for 2026. So is there anyone who is interested in being a chair for our commission? Oh. Can we nominate people who are not here?
A lesson learned once, Lorraine.
So we could pick on Angela, we could pick on Lorraine, we could pick on...
I might be interested in vice chair. I don't know if I want to take on chair like this early.
Well, but chair, so just to run through the responsibilities of the chair, they conduct the meetings and then they report to the city council in September. So those are the primary responsibilities.
Karina, it's not unheard of to have the vice chair.
But I've been vice chair for 2 years, and so I want to open this opportunity to people who have not had the chance. Or Katrina, are you interested in continuing? Is that allowed
I
to
will
the third?
serve however is needed, but I also want people to have the opportunity if they would like it.
I wouldn't be opposed to any of them. I haven't served in any of those roles.
Okay, so you'd consider being chair? I would nominate Matt as a future chair for 2026. Should we start the votes for Matthew as chair? Let's start with Katrina.
Aye.
Do I vote for myself?
Yeah.
Okay, aye.
Me too.
Okay, so we'll have Matthew as chair, and then Christine, you expressed interest in being vice chair. Can we start the vote for vice chair?
Aye.
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 Aye. All right. Awesome. Is that all okay? And now I will turn the time over to, is this Bryce or Sharon doing the training that we're,
I can, I'll tee it up really quick.
Okay.
First off, Karina, masterful use of the agenda, walks away with no assignment. Round of applause, that's very impressive work. I like that. Well, y'all, this is our annual training. This is a new-ish thing where every single commission has the opportunity to watch the Open and Public Meetings Act's training from the state. Welcome. And you were just waiting outside while we did the vice chair votes. Now that that's done, okay, well played. Again, a couple of masters at work here. These videos and trainings are standard for all commissions, and so I sometimes, especially like it gets to the end where it talks about like misdemeanors and felonies and all that, I don't want you to think we've had any issues with this commission. This is just citywide training, good to learn about your roles and responsibilities and opportunities. And go through some of those required trainings. So I think Sharon has a video for us to watch first. It is about 7 minutes, so we'll go from there.
You okay with lights on? Do you want lights
So
off?
what is the Open and Public Meetings Act? It's the state law that ensures government actions and deliberations are openly conducted. Before we continue, keep in mind that this video is an overview and exceptions may exist based on your entity type. We focus on local government, not state requirements. When in doubt, read the law and consult with your legal counsel. So what's considered an open and public meeting? It's when a public body quorum, also known as a simple majority, meets to discuss or act upon government business. It includes the meetings sometimes referred to as workshops or executive sessions. Regular meetings, public hearings, electronic meetings, and emergency meetings are all open and public meetings. Open and public meetings don't include chance or social meetings. A public hearing is a type of open and public meeting where citizens have a reasonable opportunity to speak. Public hearings happen when a government adopts a budget, imposes or increases taxes or fees, or transfers money from an enterprise fund. These meetings have extra notice and posting requirements and won't be addressed in this video. An electronic meeting is a type of open and public meeting that's convened electronically, such as via phone or the internet. Remember, the governing body must adopt a resolution, rule, or ordinance allowing and governing electronic meetings. OPMA adds additional requirements too. An emergency meeting may be held to discuss an urgent matter due to unforeseen circumstances. In order to hold the meeting, the best notice that's feasible is provided of the time, location, and topics to be considered. An attempt is made to contact all governing body members, and the governing body majority approves the meeting. An open and public meeting may be closed to discuss any of the following: a person's character, competence, or health, collective bargaining, litigation, certain real property transactions, including any form of a water right or water shares with specific restrictions, security personnel, devices, or systems deployment, investigations of criminal misconduct, and private or protected information per the Utah Procurement Code, including trade secrets. A closed meeting may be held only if a quorum is present and the meeting was properly noticed. 2/3 of the governing body present at the meeting need to vote yes to close a meeting. Quick math lesson. 2 divided by 3 equals 66.7%. Let's say your governing body has 5 members present at the meeting. If 3 out of 5 members vote yes, that equals 60%, which is not equal or greater than 66.7%, which means you're 1 member short and would need 4 out of 5 members to vote yes. During a closed meeting, a governing body can't interview someone applying to fill an elected position, discuss filling a midterm vacancy or temporary absence, discuss the character, competence, or health of the person whose name was submitted for consideration to fill a midterm vacancy or temporary absence, approve any ordinance, resolution, rule, regulation, contract, or appointment, or take a vote, unless it's a vote on a motion to end the closed portion of the meeting and return to an open meeting. When a governing body closes a meeting, the following must be publicly announced and entered into the minutes of the open meeting in which the closed meeting was approved.
We've been having technology problems all day. We can just try and restart it, but no forward. So sorry.
And Sharon, link to this video was sent out?
Yes,
Is that
everything
right?
was sent
Okay.
out, yeah.
We'll give it one more try.
portion of the meeting and return to an open
On that.
bodies or project entities, no recording or minutes are required. However, the presiding member needs to sign a sworn written statement stating such. If the closed meeting is held for any other reason, a recording must be made, which includes date, time, and place of the meeting, names of members present and absent, and names of all others, except where disclosure would infringe on the confidentiality necessary to fulfill the original purpose of closing the meeting. Regular open and public meetings require 24 hours notice. The public notice includes the meeting, agenda, date, time, and place. Public meeting agendas need to include reasonably specified topics to be considered, with each topic listed under a separate agenda item on the meeting agenda. The governing body may not consider a topic in an open meeting that wasn't on the agenda. If a new topic not on the agenda is raised by the public during an open meeting, the governing body may discuss the topic. However, final action may not be taken on the new topic during that meeting. Additionally, entities holding regular meetings scheduled in advance over the course of the year need to provide annual notice of the entire year's meeting schedule. The notice must include date, time, and place for each meeting.
Notice is posted on the public body's website, in a public location such as the location where the meeting will be held, and on Utah's public notice website in accordance with Utah Code 63G-30-102.
Typically, posting on the public notice website is done by the records officer, recorder, or clerk. However, it's the governing body's responsibility to ensure notice is provided. State Archives has prepared a training manual and quick guide for owners and posters, as well as training videos that can be accessed at their website, archives.utah.gov. Written minutes and a recording are kept of all open meetings, with few exceptions. Written minutes include the date, time, and place of the meeting, the names of members present and absent, the substance of all matters, names of citizens providing comments, the substance of the comments provided, any information a body member requests be entered into the minutes or recording, and a record by individual member of each vote taken. A body with elected members must record each vote in list format by category for each action taken by a member, including yes votes, no votes, and absent members next to each member's name. A recording must be a complete and unedited record of all open portions of the meeting from beginning to end, and be labeled with the meeting date, time, and place. All or any part of an open meeting may be independently recorded by any person in attendance if the recording does not interfere with the conduct of the meeting. Pending minutes means written minutes of an open meeting in draft form subject to change before being approved by the public body that held the open meeting. Pending minutes must contain a clear indication, such as a draft or pending watermark, that the governing body hasn't yet approved the minutes, and that the minutes are subject to change until the public body approves them. Approved minutes means written minutes of an open meeting approved by the public body that held the open meeting. Entities must establish and implement procedures for the public body's approval of written minutes. Public meeting pending minutes, approved minutes, and recordings are public records under GRAMA. Any individual who publicly presents information relating to an item on the public body's meeting agenda must provide a copy of the information for inclusion in the public record. Make pending minutes available to the public within 30 days. Within 3 business days after approving written minutes of an open meeting, make approved minutes and any public materials available at the Utah Public Notice website, the entity's primary office, and the entity's website. Within 3 business days after holding an open meeting, make an audio recording of the open meeting available to the public for listening.
And do you just want to go through and review this, or do you want to read through it as a group?
This was also sent out, is that right?
Yes.
Great, I think a light review then is all that would be required.
And And do you want me to do that? Do you want to do
Oh,
that?
I'm happy to do it, yeah. Don't have a conflict of interest. No. There are significant and serious consequences, and I would not want to treat those ethics lightly. I would strongly recommend that y'all read through this. Often, as is the case, there's an interest in serving in something like the Library Advisory Commission because you have a relationship to it. And so just read through and make sure that you're aware of your personal relationship, aware of the what you are required to disclose. If you have questions, please let city staff know. We are happy to help. Not looking to trick anybody into anything. You can go to the next slide here. It gives a couple of examples. Ms. Davis here on the right. Where related to like, a technology, and if someone was to sell something to the library and you were involved with that, how you'd want to handle that. The one on the left, if there was real property, maybe if you were an author and you were petitioning to have your book acquired by the library and you would stand to make financial gain, just things like that to just be aware of. This next one covers gifts. Nope. This one covers compensation, and so there is no compensation on this advisory commission.
Real quick on that, conflict
Yes.
of interest. If we were to write a book, we could, as long as it's publicly available, like no knowledge that I wrote a book and that I was, on this commission. Like, as long as that's publicly, I saw all this stuff. It's like I didn't say anything, so.
Or you were insisting as chair that the LAC now gets to choose titles that are purchased rather than the staff to do it. That would, exactly, it's not to say you're not involved, it's just to say you want to use your position of influence to dictate that outcome. Great clarification. It goes over a couple of other use of office for personal benefit, including the gifts. Number 4, non-monetary gifts under $50 are okay. If it's anything more than that, as our legal counsel in our training on this just said, just don't do it. That's the simplest answer. But if you have questions on it, again, you're welcome to reach out to city staff. And then the consequences, yeah, that's great. No compensation. Yeah, next one is just fine. If you need to fill out a disclosure form, this is what you would do. This is how you do it. And then felonies and misdemeanors all around.
If you're into it.
Great. This phone number right here does go to our attorney's office, and so again, just want y'all to feel protected, well protected. Sharon here, to the previous training in this one, handles all of our paperwork, the transparency that we're uploading it. Karina, Katrina for the rest of today's meeting, and Matt moving forward. If y'all ever wanted to I would like to open up public comment on this. Does that mean it's a public hearing, or someone shows up and am I allowed to turn it over to them to do that? Anytime you have questions like that, Sharon or myself, we'd be happy to walk you through that. Public hearings and public comments are different, and there's some clarifying needed, but generally it's y'all's meeting, and so if you would like to open up to comments, that'll be your prerogative, and how you sort of manage do we give everyone a minute or two, do we let them only speak once, we're going to save all comments to the end, those types of things. Sharon and I are here to make sure that there's no violation of the Open Meetings Act, but that y'all can feel comfortable that we'd love to involve the public. We don't want you to feel afraid of handling it wrong.
I see people here in attendance, but they haven't been involved in comments or anything like that up to this point. I haven't seen that happen. Is that by default this meeting is available for people to review but not necessarily participate?
We had the one time where some people attended expecting that, but we kind of clarified that this wasn't
It was more of like informational.
that then,
You
so
can be
they
present but
changed to.
not participate.
But you,
That was
as
the way it
the
is by default, but I
as
could
the
change
chair
that.
now, you will have the opportunity, and you don't have to make a big change. You could just on this topic, or hey, why are you here today? Would you like to make a comment? Is there something you want us to comment on, or not? Or are you just here to listen? That really is up to you.
Change the job title after I've accepted.
Yeah, exactly. It's just meetings and that. Yeah. Karina left that part out. Well played. Okay, anything else on this
Anything else
presentation?
on this? And then you have copies of the city code and the handbook, the commission handbook. There is one thing in the commission handbook, it lists that we meet twice a month. So I let them know that that needs to be updated, and it does not have our current city council representative updated in there yet. So that will be updated as well. So anything else on this, or am I good?
Unless there are any other questions.
USB or USB?
HDMI. The adapter's in the drawer.
And I did have a problem with my adapter USB-C.
Try it.
All right, so we're moving to the Orem Reads Challenge overview.
Hello, my name is Meg Flinders-Peay, and I am the programming librarian here at Orem Library. Bryce asked me to talk to you guys today about our Orem Reading Challenge. So we've made some changes to our adult programming for 2026. In the past, we've had several separate things. We've had our Orem Reads that took place in the fall, and we had our Adult Reading Challenge, which was a year-long reading challenge. We also had Adult Book Club that happened every other month. And what we were finding is as we were communicating those things to our patrons, there was a lot of confusion and kind of back and forth of what was the difference between them. And so we decided that we wanted to kind of clarify and expand all of them by creating one unified Orem Reading Challenge. So we took what was our Orem Reads that happened in the fall and we moved it to January as the kickoff for this big reading challenge that will go through the whole year. And we made this fun little announcement video that we're going to share with you today, if it will work.
Moment. Houses. I'm looking for someone to share in a reading adventure.
We don't want any adventures here, thank you. You might try over the freeway or in trouble.
Bilbo Baggins. Lectio Aventura.
Bless my soul! What's all this?
You are now burdened with a great task to read beyond your own shelf and explore genres and places yet undiscovered to you in the Orem Reading Challenge.
I'm going on an adventure.
As we leave the comfort of your Shire bookshelf, we journey into Rivendell. Rivendell is a place of peace, ancient wisdom, and cultural refinement. Read books from the Rivendell Library, a piece of classic literature, a book featuring an immortal character, or something from the 800s. We must now make our way through the misty mountains. These mountains are associated with adventure, danger, and unknown depths. Explore stories of mystery, mountains, and characters who have lost their way. The road goes ever on as we journey to Mirkwood, a dark, disorienting place full of strange and dangerous things. Here you must challenge yourself to read spooky tales of ghosts, bizarro stories, and books of the band. Onward, hobbits, to Lake Town. Lake Town is a bustling, if somewhat precarious, human settlement with connections to wider trade and cultures. Journey through various cultures and backgrounds as you read memoirs, award winners, and books from a place you want to travel to. This is the ultimate destination, the Lonely Mountain, the culmination of the quest.
I did not come for wealth. I only came to have a look at you, and to see if you're truly as great as the tales say.
Face your greatest challenge yet, and read your least favorite genre. tales of dragons and stories set in places you do not want to visit. The journey ends as we return to the safety of the library.
Well, I'm back. I missed my books and my armchair.
Bilbo, you have earned your place among your fellow adventurers in the hall of the library for the Orem Reading Challenge Finale. Once you have visited at least 2 of the locations in this quest and completed the reading requirement for them, you too can earn a place at the finale event. Come November, in the year of 2026, join us to celebrate your reading journey. Onward, reading adventurers! Sign up today for the Orem Reading Challenge at orem.beanstack.org.
That was how we introduced this to our patrons at our kickoff event. So we have a copy of The Hobbit and a junk journal for each of you. So what we've been doing is we have provided a limited supply of these to our patrons who attend our events, and then they are able to decorate and record their reading adventure as they go throughout the year.
Can you explain the junk journal really quick?
Yes, so I have a couple pictures I'm going to show you. So it's kind of like scrapbooking, but basically it's like you take this and then you take scraps and pieces of things like from the events that you come to, and you put them in and you kind of style it and decorate it to remember your journey. So people are doing this with the books that they read for the challenge, and these are just some that some of my staff put together. They're very talented and skilled. Mine wouldn't look quite this good, but they did a really good job with these kind of example ones. So on this one, you can see we did, for our kickoff, we did a second breakfast, and so people were able to come and enjoy a light breakfast and decorate their junk journals. But those are just some of the examples of what people are creating. And then the challenge itself is run on our app, Beanstack, which is an app that we pay for through the city, we are able to run an unlimited amount of reading challenge on a year. So it's been a really great investment. We used to hand code our reading challenge. It's been really nice to not have to do that. So we have, if you guys, I'll give you some if you want something like this. But that has enabled us to serve a lot more patrons with our programs that we run on our app. So you can check that out if you go to orem.beanstack.org, and you can sign up for the challenge there. So like we said in the video, there's different location badges. So basically each location in the challenge is based off of a location in The Hobbit, and each one has different challenges where people complete that type of book, mark it off, and then they unlock the badge. Every badge was designed by one of our staff, who's an illustrator. So she illustrated them inspired by The Hobbit, and they're beautiful. And everybody will be able to get a sticker of those as they complete the badges that they can add into their junk journal. And then if they complete at least 2 of the locations, so there are 5, if they complete at least 2, then they can attend the finale. So that way we were trying to reach readers who maybe 10 books was a big challenge, and then also have more of those stickers for the people who are the higher achievers who are more likely to read 30 books in a year. So that way we were hoping we could kind of spread our net and reach all of them as much as we can. So does anybody have any questions for me about this challenge?
Comments?
Yes.
You guys did a fantastic job with the kickoff.
Thank you.
It was awesome.
Thank you so much. Thank you for coming.
I loved the photo op, and everyone I sat with was having a really good time. We were just talking about books and eating breakfast, and it was great. It was awesome.
Good. We've had a lot of positive feedback. Yeah.
I was also there. So
Okay.
okay.
Glad you guys were there. Thank you. All right, if you do have any questions about it, you can follow up with me, you can email me, or you can call me. I'm always happy to chat about any of the things that we're doing in programming.
Meg, for those, our members that were not here today, should they reach out to you, to Sharon, to get a book and a junk journal?
Yeah, what would be
If you give them to me, I can
I'll
just
give them
mail
to you.
them to them, yeah.
Okay, thank you guys.
Thank you very much. That was excellent. So I don't know who's going to present the display topics, but we have.
I can do a quick lead-in, and then I might turn it to Jamie for discussion on it. Question first?
Yes, so
Yes.
I've been through the new main entrance multiple times now, and I haven't seen a display area.
So, it is there. It's on the top of the first or second range. It's the first range in the children's area that has books on top of it.
Okay, so.
We tried to get it as
like
close
access
as
to
we
the kids
could,
section.
yeah.
Okay.
So the kids, staff are curating that entirely with kids'
Okay,
books
got it.
for this year. Or
There's
at least as long as it's there.
furniture to be acquired.
Yes.
And then our second entrance, and then I think we will
Right.
probably retool which ones go where once our building is
Okay.
a bit settled.
It's been a little bit in flux as we've renovated, but that's currently where you'll find it.
Got it, okay. I did notice a lot of MLK books. up there.
Yes, yes.
All right.
So just a quick lead-in and a reminder of where we've been and why we do this. If y'all remember, in spring of 2023, we had significant scrutiny for our display policies and display topics, and so there was an immediate effort by the admin team to rebuild out each of our major policies to ensure that there was clear sort of ownership of who is making a display, or what is the policy for it, how do the residents get involved, what is the role of the admin team, of the Library Advisory Council, of the City Council, and so the goal was to create the policy that communicates that transparency, and if someone had thoughts or ideas or concerns, where could they go to and how do they get involved? Our decisions back then, I guess Mike and I were two of the three, and Sharon, three of the four people that were on that team that we did that. Our goal was to have an abundance mindset. We had hundreds of displays, thousands of displays, when you consider sometimes they turn a book face out. Is that a display or not? And how do we get all these topics? We have hundreds of thousands of items. So the goal was to say we can display basically any topic, almost any topic that people bring to us, as long as we have the materials to support that. And so we wrote a policy that focused on several different types of displays and what types of materials or what types of themes we would use at each of those displays. We had things like a cultures and a topics and interests. We had, what was the name of our other one, the initial one?
There was some like Orem focused.
Yes.
Or the Orem, some
Local.
The Orem Connects that focused sort of like on local history or local topics.
There you go.
And then when we felt like, oh, maybe we just don't have enough materials to dedicate an entire display to this, I'm trying to remember, I feel like Scottish history was one that people were excited to have, and then we went to the collection like, we have 2 titles, and we can put Braveheart out, and that's about all we have to support this. So we said, maybe if we don't have enough material, we could have a meet your neighbor and meet your librarian, and that way, if Mike really has these niche things he wants to put out, it can just be about Mike, and we can have 2, 3, 4, 5 topics, and it also helps sort of clarify our goal of having the voice of the Orem Public Library be one thing, and then the voice of Mike the librarian be another thing, and both can sort of coexist. So that brings us to today's meeting. We have all of these topics. We still have each of those mechanics for residents to participate as a Meet Your Neighbor. They can bring titles to us or to a collection developer. I know Shannon's not here today, but if we don't have enough books on the topic and those books are out there, they can bring that to us, and we can look at collecting, developing them. We built a very thorough policy. We're now 3 years in on it, and knock on wood, it's been boring, and we haven't had to go back to it. That's a good win. That means I think the policy is working. So we're excited about that. That policy was built with best practices from the American Library Association. The Library Bill of Rights features prominently in it, working with the professionals at the Utah State Library and the Utah Library Association. And then, like I mentioned, we went and visited several libraries, I think 7 different libraries as part of our process, and had those conversations with them. So part of that process now is each of our our professional library staff have their roles and responsibilities in building the read lists and finding the materials, and physically, I'll look at Jamie, physically putting each of these topics at one of the displays on the calendar. How does it interact with our programming, our construction, those types of things. But y'all play an important role in also reviewing and sharing feedback and resident feedback to help us understand, hey, are we missing the mark? Do we have a blind spot? Is there something we should have considered? So we bring this list to y'all. Per our policy every January. We collect it through the end of '25. We then share the previous year's list plus suggestions we have. We bring it to a large list and we open up to you for feedback. Once we have this, we turn it back over to Jamie and Brandon, who is our Gen Ref adult librarian. And they will then plug it into a calendar and try to build it out and try to make all of this work. So that's our context, and happy to turn it over to y'all if you've had a chance to review the list. Thoughts, feedback, ideas?
Can I ask a couple of questions?
Please.
How many do you try to have annually?
400 is the number we've used
Something like that.
a lot.
It's a lot.
Some of them are massive, some of them are quick hits.
Yeah.
Jamie?
So on this list actually just represents, because of our renovations, a couple of those displays that Bryce is talking about are on hiatus right now, while we get furniture. But we've kept the
Or
north
another entrance.
or another
Yeah.
entrance. But we've tried to keep the north and the south ones going. And so this is largely the north and the south. One changes every 2 weeks, one changes every week. And so, yeah, 52 plus 52, and then, or 26. And then there are the other ones that swap in and out. And if you collect all of the display tables and all the wall displays and the staff picks and things we have throughout the library, we have easily, 400 or so displays a year.
And some of those will have up to 50, like if we use the pyramid display, I think 50 titles. So thousands of books that each required to be changed in the catalog so people know where to find it. So each book that is pulled out and put onto a display has some back-end processes. So building a display is a labor-intensive part of our team's work week.
So how do we know if a display was successful?
There's different measures of success. One of the first ones we look at is how many things checked out from the display, how many, what kind of interest there was from how many things go. And we keep stats on all of those, how many things check out each day from the displays. And so we're tracking it to see how interested the community was in them. Feedback based on kind of qualitative feedback, based on comments that we get, recommendations for, I think you guys should have put this on your display. And just conversations that we have around the displays.
I think previous annual reports for the library have included the top performing displays, which books checked out the most. I'm trying to remember the best topic.
One of the most, the one in terms of the highest checkout rates that we have are books about books. Books about libraries. So like the Library Lovers Month and things like that, National Book Month. When we put books about books and books of book lists out, those go like you would not believe. That's one of our most popular. So, but we've had several that are popular. I'm trying to remember what some of them are. We tend to have quite a lot of interest in like the holidays, in particular in the children's area, Mother's Day, Father's Day, Christmas, New Year, Thanksgiving, New Year's, that kind of thing. We get a lot of interest in the self-help kind of displays, like the New Year, New You, kind of take on a new hobby, a lot of crafting, that kind of thing. So.
Okay. So in theory, you could do all of these.
Yes, so this list was put together by our librarians who looked at the collection, what we haven't highlighted necessarily in other years, some that have been really popular in previous years that we want to return to. Tried to get a nice mix that goes across our collections so that we're highlighting not just one area of the collection, but lots of different areas of the collection throughout the year, focusing on all kinds of interests, topics, some cultural, months and things in there, so kind of tried to get a broad scope of what we do.
So what kind of feedback from the Library Advisory Commission is most helpful on this list?
It's helpful if we, if there are topics that aren't on here or you've not seen for the past couple of years as you've served. I know that's a 3-year service period. So if you're like, hey, you keep missing this one, it would be really interesting if you've got something on that. That kind of advice is helpful because it lets us go look at our collections, whether we could do a display on that or not. If there's a topic that you see that you're wondering, is that a children's specific topic? Is that a general topic? That's always helpful to know where to place those in the library so that they'll hit the right audience. And that kind of feedback is useful.
Jamie, I still think there's been a sourdough one yet.
Sourdough one. No, those books are often checked out. That's like we tried to do a 2-week display on origami and the books just cleared out, and eventually we just had, take this paper home and fold it on the display. So sourdough, but I will write sourdough down. I'll see if we can do some investing in sourdough books.
Or make it more general, artisan baking or something.
Artisan baking, okay. I know we've had some cookbook displays. I don't know if we have a baking one on this year, but I love it. I'll add it to my notes.
The most recent report I could find was from our 2023 year, and for the most popular displays that year, Halloween was number 1 at 215, Thanksgiving at 163. Those were the only two that were above 100. Like Jamie mentioned, self-care had 83 checkouts from the display, Independence Day had 62, Pride Month had 50, Dia de los Muertos, which was different from Halloween, right after, was at 30, Christmas had 41. Other on the interest in topics, ecological conservation was at 29, the Nobel Prize was at 30, homelessness awareness was at 40. A lot of them are in the 20 to 30 range. We put 50 out, we have some back stock, and so a lot of, if it checks out 20 books, that's half of the display is gone by the time you're done.
Yeah. And the children's books obviously check out differently than the adult books. The adult books nice and fat. People take 1 or 2. Children's books tend to fly out. Get a whole armful and take them home. So, but all of those stats are useful to us. I'll have to do that. I'll update the stats for 2024.
Yeah.
I was like, I know I have them somewhere. And now 25.
I will note that if you decide to do like adult versions of Dino November or National Fossil Day, I would be very interested.
Okay. Think
Or
right
do you
now
want recommendations for those?
Those might be children's, but I'd have to check. And then National Fossil Day.
We've got time still.
We do.
Dino November,
We
10
do.
months.
We can do. This year's summer reading program for kids is all about paleontology and archaeology. So they might be connected to those. They may be children's topics this year, but I will let my team know.
Angela, do you have some?
Yeah, just a good question. So where are the children's displays mostly? Like, is it the top of the bookshelves that you do?
So this particular list will show up on the top, that first range that has books on the top, just as you go past the children's desk now. That's where these will be for at the moment until we get some new furniture. With the renovations, we've had to move them around a little bit. They were by the temporary entrance that was on 100 North, right next to the door there for a minute and things like that. And then the children's team has their own displays that they do with various topics, new books and different topics that they pick throughout their area.
Do you guys do any of the more serious topics like disability awareness or autism awareness, like that kind of thing in the kids department? Or?
We do, yeah, and we certainly can do, they kind of call them pop-up displays where they'll take a range. And if there's, we had one, what was the topic of the one that we had from one of the other commissions that came in? Something about safety.
Heather Cox works with the Coalition for Center for Children's Justice. CJC had a big Utah County Health Safe Touch body autonomy type thing, and that was a very popular display.
We don't have as many books as we thought we might have on it, and so we pulled everything we could. It was in the children's area. They're nonfiction, so they were upstairs in the nonfiction area, but we put what we had on display to highlight that and kind of worked in conjunction with them. So yeah, we do have displays, and some of these are in the children's area. I can't remember which was our MLK Day right now is in the children's area. I want to say Holocaust Remembrance Day might be in the children's area this year. So yeah, it's a mix of, obviously they do like Pirate Day art, those kind of things in November, but we do try and mix it with the cultural remembrance days and different types of topics. I think they have an America 250 type topic as well this year. I think it's going to be on both sides. So, thanks.
Are there any other questions or comments?
Yeah. I would say you guys did a great job of picking a really wide range, and this looks like a lot of fun. As an aside, not as a commission member, but as a makerspace volunteer, when you guys get the calendar, if you'll give it to Matt, maybe we can see if we can match up some classes with some of the stuff you guys are highlighting.
Share it with Matt.
And that you can have cart horse or horse cart on that one.
Yeah.
If he's at a cool program, and we've
Yeah.
gone to our staff to say, tell us what you're doing the third week of March. We would love to essentially advertise that and bring people to your program. Same thing with library hall shows and people coming in. We love to support that.
And we send this to, once we have a calendar, we also send this to our collection developers, make sure that they know what's happening. So that if their particular collection links up to this, so something like Detective Stories, Sherlock Holmes Day, Shannon is our mystery collection developer, and so we'll make sure she knows and she can add to it. Sometimes they've decided, I think we had Romance Readers Month or something like that last year, and Julie, who's our digital librarian, who does the romance collection, she took that fully on and said, I will curate the list, I will pull the books, I will get that taken care of. And so they get to be involved in this as well. So yes, Makerspace is invited, Mike's team over here in Library Hall is invited, everybody's invited.
Love it.
And I look forward to the moment when we get to bring back the Meet Your Neighbor, Meet Your Librarian, because those are really fun displays, just to see what our community wants to put on display as well.
Awesome. Any last questions or comments? Thank you very much, Jamie. That was fantastic. Do we have any other general topics that we'd like to discuss for our meeting?
I have some updates from the city staff if y'all, I don't want to take the balance of y'all's time, but would be happy to, I've got a couple of other in the other category.
Does anyone need to leave, or are we good to stay?
I did see in the minutes, Bryce, from last month that you were gonna ask city council if they were interested in a conversation, presentation about the like Orem reads thing. Has that come up?
Sorry, one more time.
I think in our minutes from the last meeting.
A presentation by Meg
I'm just asking you.
on Orem Reads.
Yes. But yeah, you said you're gonna ask the city council if they would be interested in having a presentation on Orem Reads at one of the city council meetings.
Gotcha, understood. Okay, I was gonna say, because I know the invitation went out to Councilmember Meekum to participate with our, it's part of our teen tween, does this sound familiar? You spoke with?
Oh, reading club.
Reading club.
Fifth grade.
There we go, teen tween reading club, so I know that went out. We are not on the agenda for the January meeting, but will be shortly for that, and maybe we can play that Hobbit video for all to see.
There you go.
That deserves to get out there.
Absolutely.
If you want to rewatch it, it is on social media.
Okay.
You can go to our Facebook page.
All right. So yeah, if you have anything you'd like to
I
share?
just wanted to give you all a few updates. It has been a minute, and then I also wanted to leave some time for Councilmember Meekum, who we just wrapped up our city council retreat, and I felt like there were a dozen things that seemed like priorities and things that were really exciting from the city council that relate to the library. So I want to leave a few minutes for that. Number one, next month we will do our big sort of budget presentation to y'all. Our internal budget numbers are due to our budget subcommittees the middle of February. And so we've met as an admin team sort of individually and have prepared that. Right now it looks like generally great news for the library. I don't anticipate massive changes or cuts. I think we remain committed to finishing our recommended increases to collection development budgets. We've been doing that for the last 3 years, and right now we're looking at an additional $50,000 to those collections over to get us to that sort of 15% recommended number, and so we'll be excited to be there. We're looking at potentially some things in Fleet with Matt's team, Makerspace, being over at Hillcrest so much, Jamie and the storytellers and children's staff and program staff being all over the city. Our goal was to make sure the library wasn't a building, but was a department of services out and about, so we're looking at acquiring some old police, not cruisers, but police SUVs that we can repurpose for libraries. So Jamie requested the sirens to stick around for book emergencies.
I really want to be like Ghostbusters.
Yeah, I'll see if Fleet's on board with that. We will be looking and requesting at least our next round of a sinking fund or saving up money for continuing our improvements to the library. I will be working closely with the Parks and Recreation budget to look at fencing in the library backyard, which will be on the grass over here, so that will become only accessible from inside the library, so we have another sort of indoor-outdoor library programming space. And then there are a couple of potential changes or requests for some full-time staff that we'll be looking at as well. So that's sort of our budget. We'll do sort of a deep dive next month, and we'll look at some of the numbers and some of the specifics so that y'all have an awareness of that. An invitation for our book sale next Monday and Tuesday. That's happening. We had a cool update to the Utah Library Association. They announced this week, last week, that they're doing an institutional membership, which is a change we have been clamoring for. So now the library will be able to pay a flat fee, and every member of our staff will be able to be a member of the Utah Library Association. If you remember before, you had to pay per person, and so you had to guess a year in advance who was going to go to the conference or who might be presenting it, or do we pay a lot of money, and then some people would never use it. Now we can just pay a flat fee, so that seems like a really exciting update. I'm working with 2 Girl Scouts and 1 Future Business Leaders Association of America to put little lending libraries in 3 city park properties. This is a pilot test, and this will be for materials outside of our collection. So if they don't come back to us in one piece, that's okay. Essentially, we're going to give them early access to our book sale to take whatever they would like, put it in there, and then we'll work, Nathan, who manages our volunteers on Mike's team, will work with people to come by, grab whatever materials they want from our book sale area, and replenish those. So I'm excited to see how that goes. Fun little pilot program. Beth Brower is coming next in 2 weeks.
February something.
February 5th.
In a couple of weeks. It is over capacity. It is waitlisted. We tried reaching out to do a second. They're not interested. We know that it is just too big of a night for Little Orem Public Library, but we got her before she absolutely blew up. And so just as you're hearing feedback, why don't they open up waitlist? Why can't they do a second? We would love to. It's just not going to happen. And so just so you're aware, obviously, if you want to come and if you don't have tickets yet, the only way is to come and be a usher. That's about it at this point. So if y'all want in, we would love to have you, and we'll have a little usher vest for you to help you get in the building. Construction update. Our fence moves over on Friday. I met with the contractor today. We are T-minus 6 weeks. Basically, the stuff out there, we're basically done. The library is all but done. It's just a lot of the landscaping for the plaza and all that. And so you haven't seen a ton of movement because there's just not a lot left to do. But their stuff is moving over, so we're excited for that. We have a partnership with UVU. We're meeting with them on Friday. They're going to be reviewing our acoustics. It's the physics department coming in. And so they're going to be over at the rec center doing the acoustics of the leisure pool. And this is not Mike's acoustics. This is the children's wing, the story time wing, and then the leisure pool at the rec center. So they're going to come over and help give us some recommendations for that. And then we sort of talked about this, but hold shelves and display shelves and all that, there's still furniture to be acquired and installed. So yes, the construction's done. It looks a little plain, but it's coming. So those are my city updates. I just wanted to keep you updated on 20 little things. Mike.
One thing
Please.
else, just a question, speaking of Mike's Acoustics. Did everyone or anyone yet get an email about an upcoming show here, Hot House West Swing Orchestra?
Yeah, I did.
Okay. I hope there was a comp code. There should have been a comp code. If you're interested in that, it's going to be a fantastic show. You all have free access for that. So anyway, just want to make sure you got that.
I appreciate you sending those. Those are really nice.
Good, and yeah, like I mentioned, I reached out to Councilmember Meekum, and I felt like there were so many things that were so closely related. So if you don't mind just taking a couple of minutes, some of the things you heard from your fellow council members or things that were important to you and how those might relate to the library.
I'll share a couple of things. So in January, we have a retreat with the executive staff. Bryce was there, and with the mayor and the city council, and it's a chance for people to dream big a little bit, to think about what they're passionate about and what they'd like to pursue over the next year. We had a lot of good conversations there. One of the things that I'm interested in figuring out is how to have a writer in residence in Orem. And we need to figure out funding and how that would work. I'm also interested in artists in residence. But this would be a program where we bring somebody from outside of Orem for a period of time here to work on a project, right? And take advantage of their network and expertise and creativity to engage with our creative community here and writers in Orem, and also with library patrons and others. So I think it would be beneficial for them to be able to have some funding for a project and to be a writer in residence, and also for us to learn from them. So it would just be a cyclical thing where we bring interesting people in for a period of time to write with us. That's one thing that we're exploring. Related to that, an idea was brought up that I'm wondering, Jeff Lamson brought up the idea of what would it look like to have a poet laureate, and what role would that person play? And some questions I had around that are, do we have a poetry writing community in Orem? And is there a relationship where they could do some things that would be useful for the city and also get some exposure for the things that they do? So that's an idea that we're looking at a little bit. Poetry Foundation also reached out to Council Member Gale, who forwarded it on to me. They are interested in the possibility of trying to create some sort of, if I understand it correctly, some sort of public art using poetry. So this would be like something big, I'm imagining, right, that a poem that could be a useful meditation for people who walk by it, that would have some sort of creative inspiration associated with it. And they're looking for new sites. They've got a couple of cool sites in Michigan right now. They're looking for places, communities that are interested in partnering with them to get some poetry more accessible in an artistic way to the community. So that might be at the intersection of the library and the arts commissions, both of which I'm on, so I can facilitate that. I just encourage you as commission members to be bold. Dream big. The worst thing that can happen is you won't get it. But unless you're being bold and dreaming big, we are missing out on some of your ideas and creativity. Like I said at the beginning, I just really want us to be innovative and champion cool ideas that are coming out of residents in the city. We've got awesome library staff, and you guys have so many cool ideas. The pool of ideas is broader than that. So just encourage you to continue to bring cool ideas here, and sometimes it takes a while to get them to fulfillment, and sometimes there's a lot of logistics that have to figure out, sometimes there's funding that has to be figured out, all of those things, but don't let any of that hold you back from thinking about what would be a really, really cool thing that you would like to champion in our experiential library. Did you hear anything else that I missed, Bryce, that you?
No, I think that's the list. Sister cities, I thought was awesome.
Yeah.
How we partner with our other local cities here in the county or around the country.
Yeah, so I know you do a pretty good job of attending conferences where you get to learn from other libraries in the state. One thing I would love to see us do in a systematic way is have a couple of sister cities that are oriented around the idea that this is a city that has the same kind of demographics, the same kind of challenges we have, and that they are working on the same kind of problems we're working on. So instead of it being just some sort of cultural exchange, although that can be part of it, having a relationship where we all are doing the same kinds of things, and if we could find a sister city that had a library system that was similar to Orem's, and we could find a way of getting you to spend some time with them, sharing our cool ideas with them and their cool ideas with us, I suspect we can learn some stuff we hadn't thought about yet. I guess
One thing that I noticed when I got on the commission, I wasn't sure what our responsibilities, but I seemed like we'd come to meetings a lot and we'd be told updates and then we'd leave, and it would be like, okay, we're just here to kind of listen a lot, and there wasn't a lot of opportunities to promote or pitch ideas. And so that's kind of changed a little bit, and as the meetings have gone, as I've had more experience. So I'm grateful for the invitation to think big and go big. We'll see what happens. I agree. What are they gonna say? No, we already don't have it, so it's not changing anything, but who knows what
You
happens.
should talk to the 2026 chair. See what he thinks.
I encourage everybody to just come with some ideas on what could be there. I like this idea. I mean, I've been to, my wife thinks I'm weird sometimes because I go to the library and I go to traveling places and you know, I stopped in Park City, St. George, I've been to Vegas, I've been to La Jolla's library, and if I'm there, I'm gonna go check out the library. And it's fascinating to see what we have. I come away every single time thinking, we got something special. And I'm excited about that. It's kind of cool. I was in Springville just, 3 weeks ago for a night at the art museum where they had classes about different things that artists deal with, like how to photograph art, how to promote yourself on social media. And I sat there and I listened to it, but they had a whole section I went to where they were talking about how you could get a mural in the city. And I thought, well, that's kind of cool. So then I drove around in the dark and looked at where the previous projects had been and looked at the murals. I was like, I didn't even know this was here, but they've put up stuff, and that's kind of their art city thing for their thing. But I mean, there's things like when you talk about artists in residence, poet in residence, something writer, that's something that that's a cool idea.
Just building on that, thanks, Beth. One idea that I have we could explore at some point is trying to find a way of having literary art around the city. So it could be, you know, snippets of literature that somehow inspire people from the best books, that just remind people that there's this treasure trove of ideas, and just giving people exposure to that as they live their life around the city, I think could help us brand ourselves as a cultural place. I think it could just improve people's lives generally. So that's something that I think would require some systematic thought, but maybe in conjunction with my work on the Arts Commission, I can think about ways to bridge. Because we're going to be working on a new arts master plan this year. And I'm wondering if part of that arts master plan we could have more of a deliberate public art focus, and that some of that art may be literary art as well as visual art. And so I encourage you to think about that. The other thing I would just say is that every time you travel anywhere, go to the library and take a note on your phone of the coolest things you see there, and bring them back here. And let's just do it. Right? I mean, let's ruthlessly pillage from all of the best ideas we can find from any library you visit. And I think you're right. We have something special, and it's just a really great institution to be part of. But let's think about ways of going wild and crazy with innovation. As you see something, you say, "I wish we had that." I call that library envy. So I encourage you to practice library envy. Say, I wish the Orem Library had that, and then let's figure out what we need to do to get there.
Your comment about literary art, I thought about going and learning. I think it was the BYU Museum of Art, but they have displays about Islamic writing and the fact that pictures of God were not allowed, but descriptions were, and so then the writing became ornate, and it was beautiful, the patterns and the repetitions, and they've found beauty in the text, which is not a discussion I hear a lot of people talk about in our culture. They don't think of beautiful text. I do. I teach digital media at high school, and I'm trying to get kids to think text is beautiful. Are you using it? Have you thought about it? So let's grade it in.
I have a quick question about kind of the vision for sister cities, especially in terms of libraries. Are we looking for like nearby places? Are we looking for places in other states maybe that kind of have a similar, like, hey, it's a college town, it's about the same size, like what kind of things are they doing?
I mean, I can share with you my vision for it, but it is not been fully vetted, right? So the way it turns out, I think, is still up for some discussion. But I am interested in trying to find cities that are roughly our size, that are roughly our sort of stage of development. Maybe cities that also have a university, like we do, that have similar kinds of mix in terms of what they're trying to do, in imagining their future, and spending a little time with them. Most of those places will be out of the state, probably. I think there are some people in the city that are a little nervous about going too far internationally. But a couple of places that I found that are pretty similar to Orem in some of those dimensions are places like Lethbridge, Alberta, or Bellingham, Washington. Similar size, similar kind of demographics, and at that kind of stage of trying to figure out who they want to be and how they want to get there. So that's what I was imagining. I could also imagine another world in which we figure out how to do that with libraries, not necessarily in a formal sister city setting, but like libraries that are servicing similar kinds of communities. What are they dealing with, and how are they solving problems? And I know Bryce is very connected, many of you are very connected into that community. But maybe even looking further outside of Utah for some of that. I just think there's stuff to learn, and we have good stuff we can share.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't break my heart if we inspired other people to have library envy, and that their library programming or collections should change because of what they learned from us.
Can I make a comment on the dreaming big?
Yeah.
So I have seen, I worked for a documentary studio once, which is amazing, and they applied this system in classrooms, but they had like a sister system with impoverished like countries and like kids, and they would watch documentaries together or read books, and then they would discuss those things. But it was kids in America and kids in kind of third world countries, not always, but that might be an interesting thing if you were to treat like a go to sister city library in a different country. But I've seen it work very well in classrooms for kids. That might be fun, even just a fun kids thing to have. And you could read the same book, and it would be fun to discuss, and it might be very different. It might be perceived different from a kid all the way across the world from us, right? In Utah, in little Utah, little Orem. So I think that would be really fun. I think that would work really, really well as far as documentaries go, but books. So.
Pass that on to our children's team. That's awesome.
Awesome. Thank you, guys.
Karina, can I give 3 calendar invites really quick?
Absolutely.
Number 1, Friday the 23rd, this weekend. Hopefully each of y'all have received your invitation to the Commission Appreciation Dinner at UVU. Hope to see y'all there. Number 2, Wednesday, February 11th. Each of you should have a calendar invite. If not, it'll be coming from Sharon. Will be part 2 of our 2026 strategic plan presentations. Thanks to y'all that were able to join us for the 2025 report back. But Wednesday, February 11th, lunch will be 11:30 to 12:30, and the presentation will be 12:30 to about 3-ish. You'll hear from every associate librarian, division manager on up that, and we will just present in 4 minutes or less that dream big thing that each person is doing as it relates to our mission and vision for the year. So that's always a fun one. You get to hear from a lot of different people. And then our current schedule for the next meeting of the LAC falls on a caucus night. And so we would not want to conflict with that, and so we were going to see, I guess, Karina, this would probably require a motion, but to deviate from our published 2026 schedule, we could look at going earlier that day, we could pick a different day of that week, or we could look at a different Tuesday at 6 p.m. Obviously, it would need to be off of a city council night, but maybe if we could get some direction on how y'all would like to proceed. We don't have to find the exact date and time, but maybe direction, and then Sharon can work through email to get that to y'all.
Okay, yeah, does anyone have any schedule constraints that we should be aware of?
Going earlier in the day would be difficult for
Mhm.
me.
I would say not the same day.
I agree. Okay, any other constraints?
For what it's worth, I'm traveling that week, so I told Sharon that if I'm going to join that week, I would need to join by Google Meet, which is fine. But if it was on another week, I might be more available.
Okay. Does anyone have any constraints the week after?
I don't think so.
That would be the 24th, is that right?
I think so.
17th of March is our next schedule. Is that
Yeah,
correct?
yeah.
City council is on the 24th.
Would you, I guess, would y'all like us to find a different Tuesday at 6 p.m.? Is that the best direction for y'all? Is a different
I
Tuesday
think
at 6
so,
p.m.? Great. I'll have Sharon coordinate with the city council schedules. We'll get a couple of options to y'all, plus or minus 3 weeks. And then we'll go from there. We'll send a couple of those dates out.
Awesome.
Great.
Thank you. Is there anything else we need to discuss? Okay. Is there a motion to adjourn? I'll make a motion to adjourn. Second. Okay, let's vote, starting with Katrina.
Aye.
Aye.
Thanks, y'all.
Okay, thank you, guys.
Thanks for being here.
So nice to meet you. Thanks for doing this.
Thanks, guys. Thank you, Jamie.
You're welcome, bye.
Pop up on screen.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Jamie.
You're welcome. Anytime, my laptop's available. I'll try and
Is
point you in
that
the right
display
direction.
at the MOA, the BYU Museum, Matthew? Is that display still there, or is that was a while ago?
So our sister city has to be the same size, because I was literally gonna plug for Paris, but I'm willing to go.
They've got to have a library there.
They have
Yeah.
You said Millennium Library and all that shit, so.
to go to the Seattle Library when I was there.
Thank you for conducting. Enjoy your vacation.
Yeah,
I hope you have good weather.
I hope so, because we're gonna be by the ocean. I've never been on the east. I've never been at the Atlantic
My
Ocean
favorite
before.
has become like.
I've been on the
map
East Coast,
room
but I've never gone to the
I was
ocean.
just at.
So it'd be fun if we could like actually go to the ocean and get in, but probably too cold. That's my guess.
Be nice.
Probably.
Very different if you've been to the Pacific. The Atlantic is very different.
Yeah, so I